Welcome to another episode of Ecot TV. Today, we meet two Ecot students who participate in Career Tech. I'm 5th grader Inger Latimer, and a new Ecot TV is coming right at you.
Well, I knew I wanted to do computer science as a kind of career after high school, so when the counselor had called me and asked me about enrolling in the Cisco Academy, I decided to jump on into that. Figured it'd give me a head start on college or a job immediately after high school.
First, I wanted to take culinary arts, carpentry, or programming. And the thing that really stood out to me was programming, so that's why I stuck with. I think it was my counselor. She mentioned it to us. She said she noticed how I was going to Tri-C, getting the college credits and stuff there, and she noticed that that Ecot had just started a program too.
It's a 2-year program. The first year you work on basic computer stuff and you get your A+ certification at the end of the year. And then for the second year you're working on the CCNA, which is to do with routers, switches, and just basically how the internet works.
The very first class I took was web design. The second was information technology, going over all the different IT fields. The one I'm in now is programming, and we're going to go over JavaScript, dealing with HTML, web pages, how to make it more interactive. And then the last class we'll take is databases, and the very last class is a capstone class, so I'm looking forward to those 2 classes.
By enrolling in this 2-year program, you'll not only be able to graduate high school, but as you graduate, you'll come out of high school with 2 different certifications.
Last year, I got my certificate in mobile application development, and now I'm working towards my website development certificate this spring. And it's real nice because next year when I graduate from high school at Ecot, I also received my programming development associate's degree from Cuyahoga Community College, so it's real nice.
One of the advantages of taking the Cisco Academy through Ecot is that you get the hardware you need to work with hands-on labs, different things you're required to do, and you have a lot of flexibility with your time.
Well, because of this career tech program in Cuyahoga Community College, I've been able to contribute to our family business even more. In this family business, our family mall, we use different machines, creating t-shirts, personalized mugs. Another app I created, it's a game really for my sisters. Well, it has my sisters' faces in it, and you tap their faces so they won't hit the ground.
First decided to build a multi-rotor because I'd seen some pretty cool videos on YouTube of people racing them. First one I'd built was big enough to hold a camera. Actually had 2 cameras, one for recording, one for what was called FPV, which stands for first person view. You have a pair of goggles, kind of like virtual reality goggles. The first year I'd entered my multi-rotor, ended up winning the Einstein Award at the Ecot Science Expo.
Well, I first learned how to play drums when I was about 6, 7 years old at our other house across town. My siblings, Josiah, he plays the flute. Jasmine, she plays the piano. Deja plays the saxophone, and Kayla plays the bells and the flute, alternates between songs. And I play the drums. My father plays the bass, and my mother plays the saxophone as well. We play jazz, blues, different songs like that.
After graduation, I'm going to be going to basic military training in San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to be going to a tech school to learn space operations. What's neat about this program is that it uses a lot of the same curriculum that I'll be using in the Air Force. So this program has prepared me for learning space operations in the Air Force.
Well, when I grow up, I want to use the skills I picked up and take it to the worldwide headquarters in New York, Jehovah's Witnesses. And there, they have different departments. And one that they really need is my skills that I picked up in IT. So that's what I really want to try and use my skills for in the field time service.
I'd recommend this program to anyone who thinks they might be interested in learning technology, because even if you don't end up doing this after high school, it has a lot of valuable skills you might use later, or you might find out whether you are interested in this.
Thank you, Xavier and Jacob, for sharing your stories with us. Your commitment to hard work is truly inspiring. And speaking of inspiring, for last week's question of the week, we asked you, who inspires you and why? After careful consideration, we have narrowed it down to these top 3 responses. Adriana writes, the person that inspires me is Jackie Robinson, the famous baseball player. He inspires me by the way he stood out to be the only famous black man to play on a baseball team of white men. And soon, he became the most famous African-American male in the baseball league. Our next response comes from Lauren, who says, the person who inspires me the most is my teachers. If I have to pick a teacher who inspired me the most, it would be David Williams. He was my 2nd grade teacher, and he would help anybody who would need help on anything. I always looked up to him as a teacher, and he helped me to make friends. And our final response comes from Brooke. She writes, my daughter inspires me even though she is only 10 months old. I still want to strive to make everything better for her. Every time I look at her, I get a sense of happiness and a kick to keep going towards not only a dream, but my daughter's future. Congratulations to all the winners, and thanks to everyone for all your responses. Did you know that last week was School Choice Week? It's celebrated each January to honor our right to choose our school. So for our next question of the week, we want to know, why did you choose Ecot? Send your responses in the IQD Message Center, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now let's take a look at some fun events happening in your area.
Work, 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 work. You see me heavy work, 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 work. You see me do me dirt, 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 dirt. There's something about that work, 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 work. When you walk a la, 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 la. When the cat from my dirt, 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 dirt.
Well, that's all for this week's episode. Remember to follow us at Ecot School on Instagram and Twitter for the latest news and fun content. Until next time, I'm Ingrid Ladler. Have a great week, and thanks for watching!